It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
1.81 goals against average, 920 save percentage. He's also 6-2 in his last 8 road starts as well. The Oilers are a great road team. I actually think it's an advantage for them that they don't have home ice. That potentially 4 of the games are on the road. We've seen 56% of the games this year in the NHL playoffs, the road team has actually won.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. All right, Chuck Booth is with CBSSports.com. We thought we'd bring him on coast to coast to talk soccer because it's just so jumping right now and lit. I mean, we were talking earlier on the show, Chuck, good to have you on the show, about the scene last night in Atlanta for that Argentina Copa opener against Canada, which Messi and his boys won 2-0. We talked about, how they're coming off a World Cup trophy and coming off a Copa win. The last time they had the Copa and the cream of the crop.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
So I'm talking to Chuck Booth of CBSSports.com. Obviously, we had some technical difficulties. What I was talking about, Chuck, was the crowd down in Atlanta. That town has become a soccer town. They're outdrawing the Falcons. They get crazy, rabid soccer fans down there. And it was the same thing again for the Copa opener with Messi in town. As you would expect, he's doing that wherever he goes, playing for that Miami team. But playing with the Argentinian team's a different scene altogether.
Oh yeah, I mean, even one of the fun things about Copa America, just as an entire tournament, is the whole thing is just a party and a celebration of soccer. So like, no matter what, whether you have like Uruguay and Chile or Colombian fans like coming to town, they're all just there to party and have a good time, even if their team's not actually winning. And it's one of those cool things that's like a taste of what we're going to see in 2026 with the World Cup here.
Yeah, I feel like as I'm watching the Euros and the Copa in concert with one another, that I've said to people on this network, just pretend like it's the World Cup because it's just as good. I honestly believe that watching the Euros and the Copa, I'm watching the greatest teams in the world playing soccer. I don't care what they call it. It seems like the World Cup to me. It's just kick-ass soccer.
Just about. And I mean, even with Euros, you have all of the goals from outside the box just coming everywhere. And like Copa's a different style of tournament, so it's a little bit grittier, but it's still just fun, good soccer. Like Argentina's game against Canada last night was a fun game of soccer. And I expect kind of the same even tonight with Peru and Chile.
Yeah, and then tomorrow you got Ecuador and Venezuela, Mexico and Jamaica. Sunday, the Americans play Bolivia. What do you think of their chances, the U.S. in the Copa this time around?
Oof. So I like their chances at least to get out of the group, because one thing with the U.S. is they've been great at winning the games that they're supposed to win. So playing like Bolivia, Panama, they're going to win those. But it's when they come up against those top teams in the world, and unfortunately just their side of the bracket with having both Uruguay in their group and also needing to likely face one of Brazil or Colombia in the knockouts, I just can't see them getting past any of those three teams.
Fair enough. I'll tell you what, they're playing that game in Arlington at AT&T at Jerry's World, right? I think it's cool how they're playing these Copa games all over the place.
Yeah, no, it's a cool time for even areas that don't like always get to see the U.S. regularly in like really big games to be able to see them.
I mean, the games, how long does the tournament go on for, Chuck? Like, is it a couple weeks? What is it?
Yeah, so it's I want to say the final is July 20th for Copa. So like the group stage will go on basically through next week, and then things are a little bit more spaced out for the knockouts.
So I'm watching this game right now with Netherlands and France in the Euros. I mean, I said this earlier on the show, Chuck. I mean, the crowds in Germany are literally insane. I mean, it's like 90,000 fans at every game, and then like they're crazy. I saw like dudes throwing beer cans at players. I mean, they mean business over there.
The Netherlands fans might be getting fined after this game because they were throwing water bottles during the game. Yeah.
I saw Griezmann almost got plucked in the head on the corner kick.
Oh yeah, no, and that's always one of the things where it's like, I mean, I get it that everyone's excited and like doesn't like some of these players, but there is a line, and throwing things on the field is that line.
What do you think of Mbappe? And I saw that play live when he broke his nose and he hit that shoulder hard, and then he was just gushing blood. I mean, that was nasty. A lot of these guys go down on trips and such and act like their legs have been cut off, and they cry and roll in agony and they flop. They make the NBA look like amateur hour, the way these guys win Oscars when they dive, and they don't even get hit, and they dive and they go down and act like their ankle's broken. But when I see a guy take that shot and literally you could see his nose break and he's gushing blood, that was pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, and also, I mean, not only that, but immediately trying to come back into the game when even the referee's like, no, you're literally still gushing blood because you can't come back in until that's stopped.
What do you think of him saying he won't play for France in the Olympics?
Well, that's where it's a little tough because he wants to play for France in the Olympics, and like that's one of the things where he was pretty adamant, even like leaving PSG for Real Madrid, that he wanted to be able to do that. But the Olympics are a weird time because of it not being during a standard FIFA window. Like Euros and Copa America are, where teams don't actually have to release players to play in it. So it's more Real Madrid blocking him than it is him not wanting to be there, because it's just a lot on a player to go from like one tournament right to the other. I mean, you see he's already broken his nose in one. Like, what if he goes and ends up having like a leg issue in the Olympics and then misses the start of the season for Real Madrid?
I mean, can you believe we go from the Euros to the Copa to the Olympics to the World Cup in North America in 2 years? I mean, soccer is on fire right now. Respectfully, I got 15 seconds, Chuck. I know you're stoked for the Olympics and for the next World Cup.
Oh, yeah. But my sleep schedule is not, because even right now it's like 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. is soccer all the time.
Yeah. No sleep for you, Chuck. It's soccer time, baby. You need to get a beer and just ride the wave until the Copa and the Euros are over. Hey, great job, Chuck. Thanks for coming on Coast to Coast.
Thanks.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start, so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
11 and 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Rory Mack, it's going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We know we also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So, Carver High, just before you get into all this baseball, I want to ask you, I'm watching this French-Netherlands war at the Euros. Obviously, France is one of the best teams in the world, obviously. And is Netherlands on their level? Because, it's 0-0 in the 55th minute. How good are Netherlands compared to France with Mbappe? And Mbappe's not playing in this game unless I'm tripping.
I mean, look, I think that France is better than them. Is the gap that wide? I don't think it's that wide. Netherlands has always had a lot of world-class players on their team, and they do here as well. Memphis Depay and Gakpo. They have a bunch of guys on there who are pretty good. But I'd say they're in that next tier right below France. I think France is on that. Listen, with all the championships they won Euros, they've made finals. They lost that final to Argentina in the last World Cup. they're on that top tier, and the Netherlands are probably in that next tier right below it.
Fair enough.
They've also taken them off the course at the Travelers, Scotty. Looks like we've got some thunder and lightning rumbling in.
Whoa.
As there's still a few guys who have some holes to finish up. So they started earlier today because of this, and now hopefully the storms will blow through, and then they can get everybody out there
What's
to finish
tomorrow
up.
supposed to be like for your trip?
I think it's going to be a little bit like today. It should be okay up until about now, and then possibly some storms rolling in late in the day over there in Cromwell.
I recommend drinking heavily when the storms hit. Find cover, not near anything that is exposed to lightning, but find cover. I typically go to the tent with all the free shrimp cocktail and crab, and where there are hotties, and I start drinking martinis. When it rains a lot and storms, you know what I mean? You got to pick your spot and then settle in and eat shrimp and crab meat.
Got to get involved some way, that's for sure. All right, let's finish up some of this baseball, and then we'll get into all of tonight's games. You already talked with Bob about the game at Rickwood Field last night. Cardinals beat the Giants 6-5. Brendan Donovan had a huge night, Scotty. He was a triple shy of the cycle. He started it off with a 3-run homer on Fox.
Here's a high drive to deep right field, and Brendan Donovan, an Alabama native, crushes a home run.
It sounded like euchre, but Brendan Donovan's from Alabama. How about that? All his pals and mom and dad and family, they were all there to see this guy just go off.
Yeah, all in all, I thought it was a really cool scene. They do a nice job with these things, as much as we love to get on baseball. When they do like the cornfield and this and the Little League game and all, they do a nice job with those special games. And it was pretty cool last night seeing that 100-plus-year-old field, 120-plus-year-old field out there with all the players on it and the meaning behind why they were there, of course.
I will say you're right that it was really nice, but what was nicer was your ringing the bell on that Tatis shot.
That actually was really nice as well. We did get Tatis from Tater Time yesterday. There were a lot of homers in that Padre Brewer game. Machado had one. Yeah. Tatis had one.
Cronenworth.
And they had their third. I didn't realize this when you said it. Three consecutive walk-off homers now at Petco for the Padres as they came back home off of a road trip last night into the Crow Zone. Jake Cronenworth on MLB Net.
Struck out. Now a 3-2 pitch to Cronenworth. In the air to deep right field for Cronenworth. Back towards the pole. Into the Crow Zone. And gone. Padres walking off.
That's what that soft serve ice cream does for you out at Petco. Like you have a couple of cups of that, the baseball hat cups of the swirl, and you start hitting walk-off home runs. There's something about that ballpark. I don't know what it is. They play well there. They have exciting games, walk-off home run games there, and then when they go on the road, they suck.
That's usually that is what happened to them all year long so far for the San Diego Padres. All right, one last thing from yesterday. The Rays beat the Twins 7-6. We discussed that on Coast to Coast in 10 innings. But Pete Fairbanks, who's the closer for the Rays, Scotty, he came in and served up the 3-run homer to Miranda that tied this game at 6 and sent it to extra innings. When they took the lead in the top of the 10th, they brought him back out to close the game in the bottom half, which he was able to do. Apparently, though, Scotty, in between innings, after he served up the 3-run shot, he was doing a little handiwork down by the batting cages there at Target Field in Minneapolis. Here's Pete.
I'll take a win.
Do we get to ask what you destroyed?
Elvis is shaking his head. It's nothing bad, Elvis. Look, let's just say that I owe the Minnesota Twins visiting Cage a new IKEA stool.
A new IKEA stool.
There needs to be a new stool. Not bar stool height, like one of the mini ones that like kids use. Yeah, it's not non-existent anymore. But, sometimes you got to get it all out to go out there and put up another 0.
There you go. My man destroying property on the road.
Smashing
Admitting
the
it.
Stool. He don't care. He's like, the guy's shaking his head, telling me not to say anything. I don't care. I'm going to go smash this stool over here. Nice job by Pete Fairbanks. The Marlins DFA, Christian Betancourt.
They went, now listen, Mike,
yes.
they went out and got that guy
yes.
in December to be their catcher, and they've already cut him.
I don't know. I have no idea what they're doing down there. They've obviously had a miserable first 3 months of the season. That is a very tough scene for Scoop Mish and the Marlins down in Miami.
I mean, they deserve it. They asked for this, Mike. They fired everybody. Everyone either quit or got fired. Ning ran out the door. They now they're run by a bunch of car salesmen or something. I don't know what's not that that's a bad job, but literally I think like the guy that sold me my Cadillac, and I don't have one, but that guy's the new general manager, and the owner like is a wacko. I mean, honestly, like they deserve what they're getting. They're stewing in it.
Deserve what they're getting. We will come back and we will start to go through all the games for tonight. You've got the Snakes in Philadelphia against the Phillies, Braves, Yankees this weekend. Pirates have the Rays in town, who we were just talking about.
I told you they should have given that job to Mish, and I meant it.
Yeah.
Like he's the one that breaks all the stories about the team no one cares about. Mish would have been the best GM, the president of the team.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
11 and 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Rory Mack, it is going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We know we also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so tons of baseball tonight to wrap our hands around and get some bets in.
We certainly do have that. Let's start in Philadelphia, where the Diamondbacks are in town this weekend, Scotty. They will send Jordan Montgomery to the mound against Taijuan Walker to start that series off. The Phillies minus 145, plus $1.20 for the Snakes. 9.5, the fat total tonight.
I like the over. Steamy for Philadelphia. It's hot. Both pitchers have been getting lit up this season. I mean, Montgomery, that was all last year, all that glory and, championship. He got a ring, and now he stinks. He's given up 6 runs plus a game. Walker's given up around 6 runs a game. Give me the over in the Phillies. The Phillies don't lose at the bank. I mean, they don't lose, period.
I'm with you on that. The White Sox are in Detroit against the Tigers. Jack Flaherty and Eric Fetty tonight. Minus 185 for the Tigers. I know the White Sox stink, but geez, laying that with the Tigers. Plus 150 for Chicago and a 7.5.
You know, I mean, the bottom line is that the White Sox are awful, and the only guy that isn't is Fetty. Fetty's been a winner for them. He's been their best pitcher. And I say he beats them tonight at plus 143. Give me the money on the plus side with your boy Fetty and cheese.
Let's go. I got a deep shot homer for that game too coming up in Tater Time with the Tigers and the White Sox today. We want Fetty. We do want Fetty to give up at least. We want him to give up at least one homer tonight.
That's okay to give up one or two.
That's all right. The Rays are in Pittsburgh this weekend at PNC. How about your boy Carmen Bludzinski going for the Buccos tonight against Pipiat? Right now, the Pirates, actually dogs at home here, even money, minus 120 for the Rays and an 8.5. Buccos even money at home tonight? Come on.
Yeah, Modlinski and a $1.10 on the plus side. Give me the Buccos. Clear the decks.
Yeah, you got to clear the decks there. That's for sure. The Red Sox are in Cincinnati. Cutter Crawford and Andrew Abbott to start that series off. Minus 115 for the Red Sox, who have been very hot. They've won 5 in a row. Reds are minus 105 and a flat 9.
I got to keep rolling with the Red Sox here. They destroyed Toronto. Why not? Both of these guys have no results, but their ERAs aren't bad. They haven't pitched bad. What they're not getting is anybody scoring runs when they pitch. So, I mean, between the two of them, I think Crawford and Abbott and Costello, it's going to be a decent game. I'll take a risk with the Red Sox again, see if they can keep rolling.
The Braves are in the Bronx against the Yankees. Chris Sale, of course, seen the Yankees many times when he was in Boston, visits as a Brave tonight. It'll be Carlos Rodon for the Yankees. This is now a pick'em. I saw the Braves as slight favorites this morning, Scotty. Now a pick'em, minus 110 both ways, and a 7.5.
I saw it even at minus $1.05 with Sale. I'm on Sale tonight to beat the Yankees in the Bronx, and I'm going to do it based on because I think Rodon's been great, and so is Sale. One's 9-3, the other one Sale's 9-2. They've both been phenomenal. Here's the thing. You plated the lineup earlier, and it was so bad. The Yankees lineup is so bad tonight with hacks that I think Chris Sale's going to eat them alive.
Yeah, look, if the top 4 guys can't do damage, he's definitely going to be able to mow through them, that's for sure. The Mariners are in Miami against the Marlins. It'll be Kirby's Dreamland. George Kirby for Seattle. Trevor Rogers goes for the Fish. Right now, Seattle minus 175 on the road, plus $1.45 for Miami, and a 7.5.
I mean, minus a 1.5 on the run line with Kirby's Dreamland and the over. I mean, your boy, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, he is absolutely awful. I mean, he's having a nightmare season. He gets tattooed Rolling Stone style every time he pitches. He's got an ERA in the 5s. His record 1-8. His whip is awful. He walks tons of guys, gets in trouble. I mean, Seattle's going to score 10 runs.
Very possible. Toronto is in Cleveland against the Guardians. Yariel Rodriguez and Carlos Carrasco are the starters. Minus 125 for Cleveland and an 8.5.
I mean, Toronto sucks. Give me Cleveland.
Yeah, Toronto stinks. They're real bad. I kind of like the over there tonight as well. A couple gas cans on the mound. I will give you the rest of tonight's slate after you talk to Coach.
Oh, a little rack with Coach. I'll be on with him again tomorrow, too, 1-3.
Panthers minus 2.5 games, plus 330. Panthers 2+ goals in every game, plus 225.
It's going to take a monumental effort for them not to get 2 goals in a game. It's going to take what Bobrovsky did last night. It's going to take Skinner to do in Edmonton. They're not going to do it in Florida.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with the injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back too. I guess this, look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
So you got to get in on the Euro and Copa 2024 soccer tourneys. They're great. Celebrate the summer of soccer with BetMGM. Euros 24 kickoff 50% soccer boost pack. Get a 50% boost for 3 different bets. An odds boost, a parlay boost, and a live odds boost. They're going to be available through the first round matches at the Euros. Odds boost and live odds boost must be a minimum of 300 odds or higher. Parlay boost needs to be at least 3+ legs and plus 400 odds or higher. 33% odds boost will be available throughout the Copa Ferrall and the Euros as well. Go to the BetMGM app or betmgm.com for full details. We're going to make a soccer fan out of Coach Young yet. He loves the action of the Euros and the Copa Ferrall. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be on from 1 to 3 and Sunday 1 to 3 on betting above the 10. They call it betting above the rack. Is that what they call it? Above the rim. I'm rack, 10, anything, I go straight to the hole. I got no time for all these other names. Anyway, tomorrow and Sunday 1 to 3 programming note. Put that on your forehead with a Sharpie, Slick. All right, Coach. I know you're excited. Do you got some big plays for me tonight? First, I want to get your reaction. Let's stop that train. I want to get your reaction to the Caruso-Giddey trade. Do you think they wanted to get rid of him after all the allegations against him this year that was kind of a pain in the neck for them, and then it went away? He got cleared of it. Do you think they planned on getting rid of him back then and just waited until now to do it? Or did you think this came out of the sky and fell in their laps with getting a defender like Caruso?
Ferrall, they don't need him. I mean, let's be honest. With Williams, with SGA, with Chet, they don't need him. I mean, listen, like the way they got defended by Dallas, like Jason Kidd was daring Dagnall to play Josh Giddey, daring him. So Chicago takes a look at him and says, they close their eyes, they say, okay, maybe this could be our next version of Lonzo Ball. That also means look for Lonzo Ball to probably not come back, which he hasn't played in 2 years for. Maybe they buy him out. But to me, I like this for Oklahoma City because I think they need more gritty guys. They need a defender. They need a guy that can lock down people and frustrate people at the guard spot. So a guy like SGA doesn't have to do that. A guy like Casey Wallace doesn't have to do that. A guy like Williams doesn't have to do that. Caruso is like that leech that you just can't get rid of. He's perfect for that team. Now, it's interesting. Last year, they wanted like 4 first-round picks for Chicago. Chicago won it. I want to know, did they finally figure it out? Like, Caruso's decent, but he's not going to get you 4 first-round picks, which I thought was wild. So to me, look for Chicago now. Do they officially say we're not going to contend? You don't know when you're ever getting Alonzo back, right? Vucevic, I think, is a stat stuffer, but really doesn't do anything defensively, right? DeRozan, can you trade him and get assets? You can't get rid of Levine fast enough. I wonder if this starts the rebuild in Chicago, but then if that's the rebuild, why are they hanging on to Billy Donovan? Let the guy go. Let him go somewhere else and coach, because he's going to have to waste his time with these young guys. Ferrall, they're not going to be very good, and I think it's smart that they're punting on this franchise right now.
Are they giving Levine up? Are they going to trade him next?
Oh, they listen. I read somewhere they said like 15 trade scenarios to a couple of teams. They can't get rid of him fast enough. And the worst thing that happened to Levine, and actually for the Bulls, is he got hurt before the trade deadline. So now he's hurt. He's missed months of the season, right? So now Ferrall, his trade value is what? 50 cents on the dollar, 40 cents on the dollar? I don't think it matters. I think you just completely start over and send this guy away and try to see what you can get.
Do you think that the Pistons made a mistake firing Monty Williams after 1 year? Do they honestly think that they can get someone in there to make that team win? Because I don't think they can.
Well, I think the thing that's tough about it, Ferrall, is when you look at it, like, why now? Like, Trajan Langdon's been there a month. You're getting ready for the draft. And now, and it's crazy that it wasn't even Trajan's call. By the way, shout out to Alaskan Assassin, one of the great nicknames of the past. But anyway, the owners get rid of him. He's got to pay $65 million. But here's the enticing thing, Ferrall, right? You got Thompson. You got Thompson. You got Duran. You got Cade. You got Ivy. You probably trade Isaac Stewart. I think
and they still suck.
And they still suck. But you have also the number 5 pick, which, shout out to them, the only team that I know that got the worst record in the NBA, and then with the worst possible pick at number 5 in a bad draft, and they got cap room. I understand them starting over, Ferrall. I just think this should have been done a month ago as soon as they hired Trajan Langdon.
So what did you think of the Redick deal with the Lakers? And then you're hearing, obviously, that LeBron's going to opt out, be unrestricted, but he's still staying with the Lakers, isn't he?
He's going to stay with the Lakers. It's just a way for him maximizing as much money as he can on one contract. And if you look at it, Ferrall, listen, when you look at the Lakers, it's amazing. They went after Danny Hurley. They gave him 6 years, right? Over 6 years. Now they go after Redick. They only give him 4. That's something that's interesting, folks, because you notice, Ferrall, you never go into college or NBA or WNBA. You never go into your last year in your contract. So really, Ferrall, this is a 3-year deal for the Lakers. It's high risk, high reward. If it doesn't work, they get rid of him in probably 2.5 years. But it's going to be interesting. To me, Ferrall, he's never been an NBA coach, even as an assistant. You got to surround him with the right guys. There's been talk about guys like Jared Dudley, who's a really high-named assistant. People really love him. There's been talk about giving Sam Cassell a ton of money to go over there. You may want to get some experienced head coaches because you know how it is, Ferrall. Going from the assistant role to the head role is a huge jump. Going from the broadcast booth and never coached before to the head coaching chair, that's a lot, Ferrall. They got to surround this guy with the right staff.
Well, the thing that bothers me about it is they're going to make that the flavor of the day now for the NBA, that they think everybody wants to watch J.J. Redick coach the Lakers. I guarantee they're going to get more attention than anyone. The Celtics had their parade today, and I want to puke. I don't want to look at that. I don't even want to see highlights of it. I don't care about all their speeches and their drunken behavior or their fans. It made me sick to my stomach. So who are your plays for tonight in the W? And I know you'll be talking plenty of W on Saturday on betting above the 10.
Real quick, Ferrall, I'm going to say this. You know who's coming after the Celtics next year? The Knicks. White Boy Rick, they're talking about White Boy Rick.
After they lose Anunoby and White Boy Rick, sure.
No, White Boy Rick's going to come back.
30 years of suffering. I'm done listening to it. You can go to another Knick game with your front row seats. They always let me down. It's always something. I don't even want to hear it.
Real quick, Ferrall, let's just make sure. The front row seats are Seton Hall games. They're not.
You're front row for everything. Eating crab meat, drinking Veuve Clicquot. Who do you got tonight?
I'm going with the Indiana Fever on the money line tonight, minus 145. They're playing much better. Listen, Caitlin Clark has figured it out a little bit, but to me, it's more about the play of Aaliyah Boston. Atlanta Dream struggling. Ryan Howard may not play because of an ankle injury. Give me the Indiana Fever on the money line tonight.
And what about Aaliyah Boston?
Oh, yeah, I love me Aaliyah Boston. She's been cooking Ferrall over 16.5. I went to this last game. She's gone over the last 3 games. Ferrall, simply put, the pick and roll is working, and she's getting to work. And that's what's making this team a lot better. Aaliyah Boston over 16.5 points tonight.
And then Sun and Aces game, you got action there as well.
Yes, I got the Aces. Very simply put, the Sun have not played a tough schedule. The one game I thought that was really tough for them, which they lost, we were on there, is they lost to Liberty. Now they got to go to the Aces, who just got Chelsea Gray back. She played limited minutes for Ferrall, had 7 assists. She makes them whole. It allows Jackie Young to go to the 2-guard. I like the Aces minus the points tonight.
Tomorrow on Betting Above the Rim, we'll determine via coach whether or not Cameron Brink and I will hook up now that she's having ACL surgery and I might be headed for a scope. I'll find out Monday morning if I've torn my meniscus. Ah.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
You got Porzingis, you got Holiday, you got Derek White. You got, literally, I would say what? 5 guys can get you 20 points in a game?
I know people will say it's, only one guy. I don't believe that, Coach, that, one guy, those days are over, in my opinion. Like, a Bill Russell, a Wilt Chamberlain.
Betting Above the Rim, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with the injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, Carver High. I just don't like the prospects of these ties in like the Euros in the group stage. Like they play 90 in extra time, whatever, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes of extra time, whatever it is, and then that's it. It ends 0-0 and nobody wins. Like honestly, you travel all the way to Germany to watch the Euros, and you're paying all this money to stay in hotels and eat in restaurants and drink, and then it's like going to Vegas, and then you go to the soccer game and you leave and it's 0-0. I mean, what is next? It's like a gut punch, if you ask me. They should play, in my opinion, somebody should win the game. I know it gets to that point, but I think every game you should go to, there should be a winner. I'm not interested in ties. Like, dude, I remember when I grew up watching the NHL, going to the Civic Arena, the Igloo, and I'd leave all the time with my dad and it'd be like 1-1. I'm like, that sucked.
No, look, I understand. Obviously, this has been this way since the dawn of time. Group stages, regular season for all these leagues, Premier League, Serie A, etc. 90 minutes, and if it's tied, it's tied. That's how it goes. They don't really have they don't want to go and run them out there for another half hour, getting a kick, do all the stuff like that, and you come away with a game potentially like this. Let's finish up the baseball. Royals and the Rangers in Arlington tonight. Brady Singer and Nasty Nate Eovaldi are the pitchers. Minus 155 for Texas, plus 130 for Kansas City, and a flat 8.
I got to be honest with you. I like that Kansas City money here at plus 122 or higher. Singer can pitch, and I think Eovaldi's tough, but he hasn't really been. He's been average, and that team hasn't scored runs for him or for anybody, and they don't win. I like Kansas City on the road right there tonight.
The Orioles head to Houston for the weekend, of course, after taking 2 out of 3 in the Bronx from the Yankees. They will have Grayson Rodriguez against the Astros tonight. The Astros will send Jake Bloss to the mound, Scotty, who making his major league debut, this kid Jake Bloss. So we'll see how the Orioles handle that. Minus 160 for them, plus $1.35 for Houston, and an 8.5.
Oh, there's only one way to bet this, or two, is the run line with the Orioles. Rodriguez has been unbelievable. He's 8-2, and they're going to pour it on. I mean, they're going to score 9 runs on this kid, Bloss, as sure as I'm sitting here. The Orioles are the real deal. So, and I'm going to bet the over 8.5 at minus $1.10. I don't got a problem with that juice. Let's go.
I like the over. That's probably where I'm going to be looking in terms of that game tonight. I think the Orioles could probably get it by themselves maybe tonight, Scotty. The Nationals are in Colorado against the Rockies. Dakota Hudson and DJ Hurz are the starters. Minus 120. Nationals road favorites. Even money for Colorado and a big fat 11-piece.
I mean, honestly, I'm on the Nats here because it should be Rock Hudson. This guy's so bad pitching. Honestly, he gets torched every time he pitches. 2-9, ERA around 5. Now, I know where he pitches. That's not my problem. That's his problem. And the Nats are his problem tonight.
The Nats are his problem tonight, indeed. The Brewers are still in San Diego against the Padres tonight, where that great soft serve ice cream that we love. Dylan Cease and Colin Rea are the starters. Padres minus $1.55, plus 130 for Milwaukee, and a 7.5.
Listen, I love the Brewers in this spot at plus 130 or more with Rea. Isn't that his name? He's 6-2, and he's got a 3.2 ERA. I know everyone thinks Dylan Cease is all that, and I don't deny they needed him, but he's been 500, okay? So that's fair to Midland, where I come from. Bottom line is the Brewers pitcher has been way better, and the Brewers are way better. They really are. They're 5 games better in the win column. Give me the Brewers at that plus fat burger. Shake out.
The Minnesota Twins are at the dump tonight to see the A's. It'll be Chris Paddock and Joey Estes, minus 165 on the road for the Twinkies, plus 140 for the A's, and a flat 8.
Oh, I love the over in that game at minus 120. I don't like the juice, but I like the over because both of these guys are, Estes Park, Colorado's got a 6 ERA. Paddock, he should be in a Paddock lock and key. He's another guy with a 6 ERA. These two guys, I mean, we're looking at 14 runs in this puppy tonight. Screw that 8 at the ashtray. I mean, they're going to be banging the drum tonight. The balls are going to be flying out like wiffle balls.
Very possible. Kind of had my eye on that over as well. And finally, the Freeway Series tonight as the Angels take the trip from Anaheim to Chavez Ravine to see the Dodgers. Patrick Sandoval and Landon Knack are the starters. Minus 190 for the Dodgers, plus $1.55 for the Angels, and a big fat 9.
Run line here, the Dodgers. Are you kidding me? He's got a knack for winning a 2.6 ERA, and your boy Sandoval is just atrocious. I mean, this guy He gets smoked like a spleef every time he pitches. His ERA is almost 5.5. He's 2-8. He sucks. They suck. They're awful. I mean, literally, they have 29 wins. The Dodgers have 47. They're at their being. Lay the 1.5. Christ, I'd lay 3 runs.
Lay the run and a half.
Alt run line.
Alt run line. That's a Joey Prawn special with the alt run line. Here we go. Tater time for tonight on a Friday night. Let's head into the weekend good. How about young Jock? Jock Peterson, Scotty, off of Taijuan Walker. 11 for 26. That's 423 with a homer off him in his career. Royce Lewis has a homer against the gentleman going for the A's tonight. Who was that? Estes. He's homered off him. We'll go with him.
Colorado.
Machado has got good history against Rhea. Jose Ramirez tonight against that gas can for the Blue Jays. The Wink Man has been hot for the Nationals. Out at Coors Field, plus 625 for Jesse Winker. And Mark Canha, Scotty, look at that price tonight.
Bud Light.
How about Canha? Plus 950. Do you want to know what he's done against Fetty? How about 6 for 9 with a home run in his career? A cool 667. Plus 950 tonight in Comerica. Let's go.
There's that home run you want Fetty to give up.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
11 and 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Rory Mack, it's going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We know we also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We always love talking college football with my boy, Rich Sermonello.
Hey, Scott, we still have a couple of months before the start of the college football season, so what better way to start to get those week one vibes than to actually talk about picks? We have early lines for week 0 and week 1. I've got 3 picks I'm looking at for the opening weekend, the major opening weekend of the season. I'm going to begin, Scotty, with a couple of home dogs, some big home dogs. First off, Stanford hosting TCU, currently on FanDuel, plus 9.5. I think that number will inch into the double digits. You could possibly get 10, 10.5. Here's my theory. Is Stanford great? No. Are they going to compete in their first year of the ACC? No. But will they be improved from last year? Absolutely. I love coaches who are in their second season. First year for Troy Taylor last year, 3-9, still adapting. to the FBS. He came from Sac State out of the FCS. 85% of their production from last year back. I really like the receiving core led by Alec Iomanner, Tiger Bachmeier. I think they're going to cause problems for TCU. And Horned Frogs this year, middling Big 12 program, struggling on defense. Give me Stanford, hopefully plus 10. Now, another double-digit home dog. Really like, so far, my favorite pick of the weekend, West Virginia getting 10.5 on FanDuel. Might be able to see as high as 11. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Mountaineers. Yeah, Penn State won this game last year, but it's a rivalry game now moving over to Morgantown. And I love that backfield led by Garrett Green, Jaheim Bell, C.J. Donaldson. Donaldson getting healthy. I think he'll be ready for the opener. And, Penn State to me, just, good 10-win team, sure, but they don't get over the hump. And I don't like Drew Aller. I think Aller's going to struggle against Aubrey Burks and that West Virginia defense. So not just taking the points here, Scott, but I think there's a money line opportunity. West Virginia getting over 10 against Penn State at home. And finally, LSU against USC. The one favorite I like is LSU minus 6.5. Neutral site in Vegas against the Trojans. Here's the deal. This is not a great LSU team. It's not going to be Brian Kelly's best squad, but USC defensively still struggling, still has some issues to work on. I'm not sold on Lincoln Riley. I think he's got warning track power as a head coach. I think they're going to have their biggest problems at the line of scrimmage. LSU's got the best offensive line in the country led by Will Campbell. So it's going to be just running the ball down USC's throat. Some play action from Garrett Nussmeier, who I like in his first season as a starter. So LSU minus 6.5 and a couple of home dogs. It's not far off. I'm ready to start talking about week 1 in the college football season.
I mean, he's getting me all kinds of worked up with this action early, Carver High.
You're not kidding. And that LSU-USC game, which is going to be in Vegas, that we know USC tried to back out of that game, I would expect Brian Kelly to lay the hammer on USC that night out there at Allegiant. Lay the hammer. I know I had some other college stuff for you here, but I want to bring this one up first because I don't understand when schools do this. Did you see Oklahoma gives Brett Venables a 6-year contract with a significant raise, and all for going 6-7 and 10-3 in his first 2 years on the job in Oklahoma, and they're about to go to the SEC, where I think they're going to become a middle-of-the-road football team, Scotty. Nice to give the guy a significant raise before he goes and does all that.
I got to be honest with you, I'm not that surprised based on the fact that they are moving to the SEC and that they need a big-name coach, and that's what he is. You know where he cut his teeth? He got his shot. Here he is. There were rumors of him leaving there in this offseason. I don't think any of that was true at all. Maybe they fell for it and gave him years and more money. And I think it's because they want to have that big name coach coaching them in this brutal conference that they're going to, where they think this is going to be a tiptoe through the tulips experience. It's going to be anything but, Mike. It's going to be brutal. I don't think that Texas and Oklahoma just go in and start pushing people around. I think if there was a team that has more of a shot to excel there, it's going to be Texas based on their quarterbacks. And I'm talking more than just Ewers. They got Manning. I think they have a really good team. And I think they might take a step further than Oklahoma, at least initially.
Yeah, I think they're better than Oklahoma, but I think both teams are in for a whole new world going to join that conference. A rude awakening, indeed.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's awesome.